My name is Dorothea Bernique. I'm the Executive Director and founder of Increasing Hope Financial Training Center, a HomeFree-USA affiliate partner. First, let me say how much everyone has missed this year, and I look forward to us coming back together on next year. I've missed the encouragement of Marcia and the HomeFree team, and I want to let all of you know how much we appreciate everything that you do for us throughout the year. Now, what motto, a bit of inspiration has gotten me to where I am today? That bit of inspiration or motto would be hope, or there is hope, increasing hope, the name of our organization. That is my life word, hope. Having a great expectation. That's what hope means, to have a great expectation. And so I go through life every day. I serve the community every day, inspiring others to have hope, holding on to hope, never giving up hope, despite what comes my way and what comes our way as an organization. And so I want to encourage each of you today to have hope. Take hope by the hand, allow it to be that anchor that will hold you throughout any storm or anything that comes your way, anything that comes your organization's way. Remember to have hope, never give up hope. Don't be weary in doing the awesome work that you are doing in your community. So I want to encourage you, have hope, increase in your hope, hang on to hope, and never give up hope. And what value do I have that has gotten me to where I am and caused the success that I have? Well, as an Air Force veteran, very early in my life, I hung on to that motto of service above self and excellence in all that I do. And so the first value would be that of servitude, that of a servant's heart. I hold on to that. I love serving the community. I love serving those around me. And I love taking on that heart attitude of a servant, esteeming my brother more better than myself. And then finally, the word excellence. Excellence, not necessarily meaning that things are done perfectly, because Etta can attest to that, but I will let you know that I strive for excellence, for things to be presented in excellence, to look excellent, and just to have that as a goal in life. Never taking shortcuts, never cutting corners, but to do things that I do in excellence. And that is what has helped both myself personally and Increasing Hope experience the success that we have had. Look forward to seeing everyone again next year. God bless.
Hi, my name is Stacy Walker. I'm the Director of Housing Outreach at Freddie Mac. The greatest value that nonprofit homeownership organizations bring to my company is, well, there's three things. One, home buyer preparation, preparing consumers that are interested in buying a home for that, letting them know what the process is and how to best manage their finances to get there. Number two would be for homeownership sustainability, how to keep your home. And that would include things like foreclosure prevention counseling, loss mitigation options, and even what we're going through today in this COVID environment is what are the steps that I need to take to make sure I can stay in my home post-pandemic? Is it a forbearance? And what should I be doing after that forbearance? And third would be the homeownership organizations are grassroots organizations in the community. So anytime we as a company need some intel from the ground, we look for our homeownership organizations to help get us that information, because more often than not, these organizations know who the players in the communities are. They know what's going on in the community. They know the different programs, including down payment assistance, that are available in the community. And then they know who's lending in the community. So we look for our homeownership organizations to help in those three categories. What I've learned this year that I didn't know before is that an organization as large as Freddie Mac, which has over 6,000 employees, can change as an entire company very quickly. Since the pandemic, we have been able to pivot from just about 100% on-site to 100% remote work in a few weeks' time. And we were able to do that without any business interruption and without any loss of productivity. So while you think that it's hard for a corporation to change or shift in its entirety, I have seen Freddie Mac shift in its entirety over a very short period of time to be able to best serve our customers during this pandemic, but also keep our employees safe.
Okay. Gotta look, we're here with Tim. Tim is a big time technology person, and we need to make sure we have, Tim, all of our technology in place. But it's a pleasure to be back with all of you. And we gave everybody just a little 5-minute break between our segments. You will hear our thought leaders, people who bring information to the industry. These are partners of ours, and there are people and companies that we think the world of. It is our pleasure once again to introduce you to a person that I think very highly of, and I know many, many other people think very highly of. I want you guys to meet Tim Mayopoulos. If you have not met Tim in years past, we certainly want you to get to know him, as he is now the CEO of Blend, a very robust fintech company that's doing great things in the mortgage industry. Tim, it's a pleasure to have you.
Well, thanks, Marcia. It's great to be with you. Thanks for giving me the
thank you. Good. Look, we're going to start off. Tim, this is very informal. I want people to know you, and I want you to just start off, if you would, with telling our viewers a little bit about yourself. How did you get to Blend? And of course, Tim and I met when he was at Fannie Mae, and I was so impressed with his warmth there. And so I kind of followed him with Blend. Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself. Then I have some questions for you that will enlighten our audience.
Well, sure. Thank you for the kind introduction. So, I come from a pretty big family. I grew up in Eastern Pennsylvania. My family came from pretty modest means. My dad was a UAW member. My mama worked at the local Sears store to send me to college. And, and my family has remained pretty modest. One of my brothers is a truck driver for Walmart. The other one's an auto mechanic, and my sister's a paralegal. So, I was very, very fortunate to be able to go to a great college and then go to law school. I decided to become a lawyer without ever actually having met a lawyer. And then I ended up working in financial services on Wall Street while I was practicing law, in a space that I really knew nothing about. I think the only banker I had ever met was my girlfriend when I was in high school. I think her father worked at some bank, but he was a small-time banker. And from that, I ended up practicing law for a long time. I worked in 3 investment banks. I was the general counsel of Bank of America globally for a number of years, and then moved to Fannie Mae, where eventually I became the CEO. So for me, it's been just a very kind of humbling but terrific experience, kind of meandering my way through financial services.
And what do you like best about your work now?
Well, what I really love about Blend is that, we're really at the forefront of driving technological change in the housing finance industry. It really is building on what I had been doing when I was at Fannie Mae, where I spent a lot of time in Silicon Valley, focusing on various technologies that could really bring the mortgage industry into the 21st century from a tech perspective. And so as I was leaving Fannie, I knew I didn't want to go back to working in another big financial institution. I really wanted to go work in a company that was driving positive change for consumers, that would make the process easier and faster, simpler, less expensive, but also less risky for the whole housing finance system. So working in a tech space where we really use data instead of documents, and really try to make the process so much better in every respect for everybody, both consumers and lenders, as well as taxpayers and the people who invest in mortgage credit. That's what I love most about it, is just the innovation and change that we're helping to bring forward.
Well, you know, it's really important, guys, that you meet a person. You met Bill Emerson earlier, Tim Mayopoulos. These are real down-to-earth leaders who are doing tremendous things in the industry in which we work. Tim, there are our HBCU students on attending our conference, social entrepreneurs, other people in the mortgage industry, leaders of community, and pastoral faith-based leaders around the country. Talk to us for a minute about the C-suite. You know, now you have really gone from being just the average everyday person to where you are now. And that really says a lot about you. And it takes a little bit more, I think, than just smarts. Talk to us for a minute about what it takes to get to the C-suite. And also, what are some of the challenges that you have when you get to the C-suite?
So, well, first, thanks for being so nice, but I still think of myself as being just a regular person. And I think that's, frankly, I think that's one of the things that's really important. If you strive to get to the C-suite, like, don't become so impressed with yourself. There are a lot of talented people in the world. So humility, confident humility, I think, is a very important quality. You need to have enough confidence to be able to deal with difficult things, but always remain humble and remember where you came from, and remember that everybody out there has their own story. I'd say the other thing is, it's really important to be a perpetual learner. I think it's important to become expert in something, but you also need to recognize that if you're going to rise to a senior level in any organization, there are lots of things you need to do that you're not going to be expert in. So you need to constantly be learning what there is to know and how to be able to make those decisions. I'd say another important quality is just being optimistic and enthusiastic. You know, it's really important. These organizations face lots of challenges. And so, you know, someone who's optimistic, enthusiastic, and can be an inspiration to others is really, really important. And then I'd say lastly, really be a magnet for talent around you. It is impossible to do anything of significance in the world by yourself. You really need to work with other people, and being able to attract and retain extraordinarily talented people around you is really critical to that. I mean, my philosophy has always been, I want to hire people who are smarter, more capable than I am. I'm happy to take the credit for their being there, but I want to surround myself with people who are better at what they do than I am.
That is so profound, Tim. I tell you, for those of us who lead nonprofit organizations, for-profit organizations, we have to be a leader who can inspire others. In your opinion, what does it take? I mean, you've talked about what does it take to get to the C-suite. As a leader at Fannie and Bank of America and now at Blend, what do you want to do for and with your employees? And by the way, I've met quite a number of your employees at Blend, phenomenal guys, on point, young and about business. So, but in addition to all of that, and I know you've got a very young founder of Blend. What are you hoping to do for and with your employees there?
So several things. First is, I think it's really important in any organization to give people a mission that inspires them, something that is more than just a job. It's more than just a paycheck. I mean, a lot of people in life, and I'm sure all the people who are tuned into this, there's lots of things they could do to make money. But people don't get meaning just from making money. They want to make money at something that allows them to get up every morning and say, I'm doing something to make the world better. I'm doing something to make my community better, to help people. And so first is providing that kind of inspiration to people, that sense of mission. I'd say the second thing is people want opportunities for their own personal growth. And I don't mean making more money. What I mean is learning, having new experiences, meeting new people, developing their networks, expanding their horizons. So that's really important. And then I think people are looking for mentorship. I think they're looking for people who will take a personal interest in them. And being a mentor doesn't mean guiding somebody through every part of every day. But checking in with them regularly and being available to them, to give them, it might just be a 5-minute conversation that helps them solve a problem, or helps them think about something differently. That's what it means to be a mentor. So I think those are the things that we're looking to create for people at Blend, the things I have hopefully helped create at places like Fannie Mae and elsewhere.
Absolutely. So Tim, let's talk about the mortgage industry. And you've seen it in its ups and downs and front and back and all of that. What do you think the mortgage industry needs most?
Well, there are several things the mortgage industry needs. First, I think we need to start developing some more effective strategies for people to have access to affordable housing, whether that's housing that they own or housing that they rent. Right. But as a nation, and this is maybe a little bit bigger than just the industry, but as a nation, we do not have a housing strategy. The country has experienced an affordable housing crisis, and we just don't have enough supply of housing to meet an increase in population and the obsolescence of existing housing stock. So we need to really think about housing as part of the national infrastructure. It's what's necessary to create healthy, sustainable communities. And so I think the mortgage industry needs to think of itself as a critical part of that effort to create this kind of critical infrastructure. Same way we need roads and schools and hospitals, we need really good housing for people. Second, I'd say the industry needs a makeover in terms of who's in it. So much of the industry is made up of people who look like me, people who are male and pale, and some would say stale. And, we live in a very diverse country, and the housing market is very diverse. The homeowner market is becoming more and more diverse. And so all of the growth, all the future growth in housing is going to come from communities of color. So we need to bring a much more diverse set of people into the industry. And then I'd say we need more innovative thinking. That the mortgage industry in particular, and I've spent my whole life in one way or another in finance, in banking, but the mortgage industry in particular has been very reluctant to change. It's a slow, complex, paper-based process, very confusing to consumers, very expensive for consumers. And we need to bring innovative ideas to all of that. This is a system that should be run on data, not documents. It should be highly digitized. It should be automated. It should be faster and easier, much less expensive. The embedded costs in getting a mortgage loan or buying a house are essentially a regressive tax, which makes making loans for lower cost housing especially expensive. And so we need to bring innovation to all of that. So there are a bunch of things the industry needs. The good news is that I think we're actually making progress on a number of those fronts, but there's still so much more work to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I can tell you, you're not stale.
I hope not.
Oh, you're good to go. You're good to go, Tim. Question about technology. This is a business that you're in now. You guys are really doing an excellent job in this arena. Talk to us about where technology is going. What may perhaps some things that Blend is doing now to sort of elevate the industry. Just in general, what should we know and where do you see the future?
So I think the entire industry is becoming digital, and it should be. People want to be able to be educated and informed about what it means to buy a home and be able to get that information digitally. People want to get that education and be able to apply for mortgage loans, in their pajamas, on their sofa, in their living room at midnight, if that's what they want, or sitting at their kitchen table, at 5 a.m. when they have time to do it. So that's a huge change. I think using technology to make the process more efficient and less expensive. So around property valuation and appraisal, around the fulfillment of mortgage loans, securing title insurance or homeowners insurance, all the things that are necessary to protect your home. All of these things are going to be revolutionized by technology. And, if this is a 9-inning game, we're in the second or third inning. But it seemed there was a time, 10 years ago when I was working at Fannie Mae where I wondered whether we'd ever actually be able to get this momentum going. Since the pandemic, I think we've seen more positive change around technology in housing finance in those 7 or 8 months than we probably would have expected to see over the next 7 or 8 years.
Excellent point. I know a lot of the servicers in particular, Tim, that we work with now, nonprofit organizations are seeing a real increase in homeowners in particular and renters calling us for help, particularly homeowners. We're very concerned here. And I know you all work with quite a number of the servicers in the industry. I've spoken to your guys about this. Just from your own personal standpoint, where do you see the servicing business? Maybe not from the technology side, but do you see things becoming better or more difficult, more challenging for our homeowners going forward as these forbearances are expiring? What are your thoughts?
Well, unfortunately, the mortgage servicing business has been a little bit of a backwater of the industry. It's not been very visible to most people. Servicing is an operationally complex thing to do, and certainly to do it well is difficult. But I must say that I am kind of astonished that in this day and age that, in a pandemic where we know there are going to be millions of homeowners who need forbearances or other kinds of assistance, that we expect them to pick up the phone and call somebody, wait on the line for a half an hour or an hour if they're lucky, to finally be able to talk to someone. And then they have a conversation with somebody who's using language that the homeowner really doesn't understand. There's a lot of technical terms. The industry doesn't do a great job of simplifying any of that. So much of this work could get done in a much simpler, faster, easier, self-service way with the assistance of technology. If you can apply for a mortgage loan online in 20 minutes, which you can, we provide that technology today. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to log into your servicer account and apply for a forbearance and receive it in a matter of minutes, and be able to update your status over time and receive digital communications on your phone, just like you do whenever you want to go buy something on Amazon or order some film on Netflix. It's like, there's just no reason why that can't happen. So do I think that we're on the verge of that? No, but I think, are we moving in that direction? I think inevitably, because it will better serve consumers. Consumers deserve better service from servicers, but it also will better serve the servicer itself, because they can be so much more efficient and lower cost.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tim, for sure, we have begun conversations with your guys, and they have just been outstanding because, like the servicers, like the mortgage industry, the nonprofit environment is a very important one, as we talked about many years ago, because we have our hands and arms around the customers that the lending partners are trying to get to. And so technology is an area that we are weak in. And we're hoping to build our strength with giants and experts like Blend. So we appreciate the ongoing conversation that would help us so that we could help the people that you're working with in the industry, and more importantly, help the people in these communities. I mean, we're all about doing the right thing. My last question for you, Tim, is this. What 3 enhancements has Blend made, you know, in light of George Floyd, the whole social reawakening? It's a new day for all of us. What is Blend doing? What has Blend done? And what's your perspective?
So I guess we've done several things. One is, you know, we have tried to use our unique skills as technologists. And I say that broadly, I'm not a technologist myself, but work with like super talented people in this space, to use our abilities as technologists to be able to deliver experiences through technology at big scale to try to drive some important things. So for example, you know, in the wake of the pandemic, a need for PPP loans, you know, for small businesses to be able to stay in business. We had customers call us and say, the government just put out these guidelines. We don't know how to roll this out efficiently. Help us. We'd never done a commercial loan at Blend. But in a matter of 4 days, we worked with customers to develop a new platform to be able to do that. And one of our customers, one of the biggest banks in the country, was able to deploy that on the morning that that the country started taking these loan applications, and fulfill over 10,000 applications in the first hour. Right? So we've tried to kind of put our energies to things where we think we can make a difference. Similarly, you and I were just talking about helping servicers. We've worked with some of the servicers to create technology to allow borrowers to get self-service and communicate more effectively and easily with their servicers around things like forbearances. So we've been focused on that. I think we've also recognized that we need to start to do more. And so we have started an initiative at Blend called our Equitable Ecosystem Initiative, where working with organizations like yours and many others to figure out what are the other things that we could deliver given our unique set of capabilities. You know, we're not great at everything, but we're really good at this one thing. What are the things that we could help people do in advance? And then we've also been scrutinizing ourselves and saying, what more can we do to create opportunity for diverse people and people of color within the technology industry, which frankly has not been a hallmark of success in that regard. So we've really doubled down, tripled down on our efforts to try to bring more people of color into Blend and into the technology industry more generally.
And you guys are doing a great job of that. Ulysses has spoken to our HBCU students. He just did a great job. And you know, Tim, I went to your website, and your website is fantastic. I guess as a tech company, it should be, but I love the stories of the people. And this was on a Thursday when I read Ulysses' story, and I called him on Friday morning and asked him to speak to our students on Saturday. So we just appreciate that. My last question for you as we bring this conversation to a close, Tim, what do you like best about yourself?
You know, that's a question I didn't think you were going to ask me. I don't know what I like best about myself. I guess what I'm most proud of is that I've been able to chart a personally rewarding career in financial services, but also be able to give back in some sense of public service. You know, the work that I did when I was at Fannie Mae, you know, Fannie Mae is an interesting organization. You know, it guarantees 1 in 3 mortgages in America. It's got a $3 trillion balance sheet. So everything we did at Fannie was described in millions and billions and trillions. And so sometimes it seemed a little difficult to connect to, you know, the actual people we were helping. But we, you know, there we were able to keep the housing finance system up and going in the wake of the crisis. I joined the company right after the financial crisis hit. were able to do that. We were able to help lots of borrowers. We weren't able to help every borrower, and there were certainly people we wish we could have done more for. But we were able to keep the dream of home ownership alive for a lot of people and keep many people in their homes. There's still a lot more work to do, but thing I'm proud of is that I've been able to lend my skills, as modest as they might be, to trying to help people in this really critical area of their life, which is being able to create good, affordable housing for themselves and their families.
That's great. Tim, we appreciate having you. We are honored to know you. Thank you for the work that you're doing in the industry and for the people. And, I must say, it is such a pleasure to meet and to get to know a person like you who is at the top, but still has the humbleness. And as you said, you still consider yourself a regular person. And that's what we like most about you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, and good luck to you and everyone at Blend. Will be working with you in the future.
Thanks so much. We'll look forward to it.
Okay,
Take care.
great.
Thank you. Bye-bye.